This is easily the most hotly anticipated figure of the past year and a half, and after numerous delays, it's finally here. Now the thing about this figure is that it is not cheap. It's like 15,000 yen, maybe more, and then factor in shipping, which your shipping is really going to suck on this figure. Look how big the fucking box is. It's huge. It's a huge box. Ostensibly, you're kind of getting two figures here. You've got two torsos, which is something I've never seen on a figure personally that I've bought, and both of them pretty drastically change the look of the figure. You can either have the full gown and have the sword held down by her hand onto the base, or you can have that same full gown and then have her hand just be kind of off to the side, or you can go with the shoulderless gown and just have a plain pose. And because of all of these parts, you get the most densely packed figure you've ever seen. There is so much plastic inside of this box, it is insane. I had to cut most of it out of the video. So you can see, all in all, this figure, it's more like a Mr. Potato Head than it is like a statue. You've got so many interchangeable parts. You've got the legs, you have two torsos, you have a replaceable arm for one of the torsos, you have the sword, and then you have her head. I actually really like the base on this figure. It's well made, it's nice and flat, kind of low profile. The text on it is good, it's exactly what you would want it to be, and it's got this cool kind of texture to it, and then the pattern on it, it's this red pattern. It kind of looks like the background to a high school photo from the 90s. I'm really digging it. The bottom half, the skirt part of the gown, is also a two-part thing. It doesn't really matter, it just kind of helps make the figure more easy to assemble. Assembling the different parts together, the different torsos, initially, the actual torso part itself, that was kind of rough for me to get in, but after a few goes at it, it does loosen up, because I guess the plastic has to kind of get fucked up a little bit before it properly slots in. The head was easy to get in initially, and it's, easy to get in now as well, too. Saber figures are not really my thing, Fate really not my thing, but this figure, and really figures of this style, not really my thing, but it's so undeniably good looking. The quality control on it, there's no flaws on mine at all. The paint, flawless. The colors, my camera is gonna fuck up the colors a little bit because of the white balance, because of all that, but in real life, it does look pretty accurate to the prototype photos. It has such a unique presence to it too, since it's the bulk of the figure. It's a big figure, it has a big presence, but most of it is taken up by this huge, flowing gown, rather than, the character's form itself. So it's more it looks more like a statue than it does like an anime girl figure. And as you can see, it's so easy to show this figure off. It photographs insanely well. The skin tones, the pose itself, there's really nothing wrong with this figure. There's really not much more to say about this figure. It's flawless. The paint is wonderful. The shading, wonderful. The pose, wonderful. The actual size of it, perfect. The only reason to not get this figure is if you, like, hate Saber, and even if you do, you might still like the figure just because it's so fucking good looking.